Okay guys, now we're talking section 6.3, which is the Pythagorean theory. This theory is a very old theory. It's something that should be a little bit of review from grade 8, so hopefully you've heard of it before. But the take-home message is that it is c squared plus a squared, c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Okay, it works for only right-angled triangles, so that's triangles that have like a 90-degree angle. That little square corner in the corner of the triangle, that would mean it's a 90-degree triangle. Okay, it works for right-angled triangles when you know 2 out of 3 sides. So it allows you to solve for the other side. Okay? One thing you need to know is that C is always across from the right angle. So if this is the right angle here, that side's going to be C. This side is called the hypotenuse. Okay, so the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle, and it's always the longest side, and it's always C in the equation. Okay, when you label the two non-hypotenuse sides, you can label them A and B, and it doesn't matter which one is A and which one is B. You can call this one A and this one B, or this one A and this one B. It doesn't matter. Okay, so when you want to solve one of these problems, we'll solve this triangle first. We'll solve for C. First, write the formula: c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Step 2, fill in what you know. So we know that this one, we know A is going to be 4 and B is going to be 3. So c squared equals 4 squared plus 3 squared. I want you to remember that squared is something times itself. So like a squared is a times a, or 2 squared is 2 times 2, and 8 squared is 8 times 8. It's not 8 times 2. Okay, so 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 3 is 9. We add those together to get 25. So we say c squared is 25. The opposite of something squared is the square root of something. Okay, so we know how if on one side we multiply, on the other side we divide. If on one side we square, on the other side we square root. So to get rid of that squared here, we square root the 25, and we end up with c is equal to 5. Okay, for example 2 here, we're going to solve for like a non-hypotenuse side for a or b. Remember this 10 here, because it's the hypotenuse, is going to be c. So if we write the formula, c squared equals a squared plus b squared. We fill in what we know. Step 2, we fill in what we know. We go, so 10 squared equals 8 squared plus b squared. Okay, this is where students would really get messed up, is they don't fill in the 10 as the hypotenuse. Okay, so you got to make sure if you're given the hypotenuse side that you fill it in the c position. Okay, then we solve. So 10 squared is 100, 8 squared is 64, and then we got b squared. Since we're adding 64 on this side, we're going to isolate b, get b by itself, and subtract 64 on the other side. So 100 take away 64 is 36, right? 36 is b squared. So since we square on one side, we want to square root on the other. Square root of 36 equals b. 6 equals b is your answer. Okay? So your practice problems for this section here are page 228, 1, 2, 3, only A and C, and then 5, 17, and 20. Good luck. Ask me if you have any questions.